Dmitry Bivol's ex-wife, Ekaterina, held nothing back as she reacted to hearing the judges' scorecards for her former husband's showdown with Beterbiev.
Артур, да! Потому что карма настигла Бивола. Иди к своей Марихе! Я была права!
Ekaterina, who divorced Bivol last year after a contentious split, celebrated publicly by live streaming her reaction. She screamed, "Karma caught up with this asshole," referring to Bivol's first loss in the squared circle. The pair first met on a flight in 2007, long before Dmitry was a world-famous boxer. They married in 2013 and have 2 sons together, but confirmed their separation last year. Ekaterina has accused Bivol of domestic violence and financial neglect, including allegations that he underpays child support, only contributing $1,100 monthly for their children. She previously wrote on social media, "And this is how this ended. Told my father that I hit myself. You are all scum. Daddy prevented me from going to the police. May 3rd, 2023. The children saw everything. And this is me, an unhappy psychopath. After your mom's playing, I lost 8 kg in 2 weeks. Did you feel sorry for me, the mother of your children and grandchildren?" She has also shared claims about pressure for her to have an abortion and alleged poor treatment by her mother-in-law.
I don't have respect at all to a man who can beat a mother of his kids, but more, I don't have respect to a person who abandoned his own kids, who doesn't care about how they live, who doesn't pay alimony.
Such is Ekaterina's dislike of Dmitry at this point that she was willing to share details of long-standing injuries that Bivol suffers with in order to help Beterbiev before the fight. She told, "I want to tell you everything I know. Bivol has a stress fracture of a vertebra in his back. All his hands have been operated on, and not just once. 1 elbow for sure. Very sore knees. His left ear is constantly swelling." She also claimed that Bivol sometimes can't see well, adding, "But the main thing is that he is a coward. We need your victory, Artur." There's no indication that Artur accepted that offer, but that didn't stop Ekaterina from praising the new undisputed light heavyweight world champion on his victory.
Ну что, ребята? Ну что? Карма настигла своего за***ца. Артур, я рада за тебя. Вперед. Теперь мое дело в суде.
She went further, claiming, "You got scared. Karma reached Bivol. Go f yourself. No, honestly, go f yourself. I was right," referring to accusations of emotional manipulation during their marriage. Reacting to Bivol's ex-wife's reaction to his loss, former mixed martial artist Amir Khan claimed that despite the loss, Bivol emerged as a winner while his ex-wife will live a depressing life. He wrote, "Bivol made $10 million last night, not including sponsors, and will make much more in the rematch. His stock rose so much. His ex-wife will be still eating cabbage soup in her depressing communist apartment dissing him. He won, period." Coming to the undisputed showdown between Bivol and Beterbiev, the result of the contest proved to be contentious, with boxing promoters Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn sharing their outrage after Bivol was deemed to have come out on top in just 4 of the 12 rounds. Eddie Hearn was devastated that his fighter Bivol lost the fight after years of hard work. Hearn claimed that Bivol won the fight and harshly criticized the judge who scored the bout 116 to 112 in favor of Beterbiev.
But I find it sickening that after a lifetime of hard work, Dmitry Bivol is not undisputed champion tonight. He won that fight. I struggled to find anybody on our road, a row behind, on the TV rows, who didn't score the fight to Dmitry Bivol. To find a judge give that fight 116, 112 and give Dmitry Bivol 4 rounds in that fight, this judge should never work in the sport again. And I'm sorry, and everything you're going to get out, Dmitry, is I can do better. It's boxing. I take the judge's scorecard, but I don't buy it.
Hearn questions how anyone could only give Bivol 4 rounds, arguing that he fought beautifully throughout the match. Hearn points out that Beterbiev's corner felt they needed a knockout, suggesting they recognized their fighter was behind. His use of the word disgusting reflects his strong feelings about the judging, emphasizing that Bivol's impressive performance deserves recognition. He further added, "How could you not just talk about what just happened in the ring? How can you give Bivol 4 rounds in the whole fight? It's disgusting." Beterbiev's corner told him that he needed a knockout. "I'm disgusted. Bivol boxed beautifully in there tonight. Hearn says he had Bivol winning by an 8-4 score, which fans saw as even worse than the one that gave it to Beterbiev. He said, I had it 8-4, 7-5 for Bivol, but for someone to score the fight 116-114, you give Dmitry Bivol 4 rounds in that fight. That judge should never work again. It's just a shame that in the biggest fight and the biggest stage that happens, Bivol won't say it, but I'll say it. He should be the undisputed champion tonight, unquestionably. Frank Warren felt that Dmitry Bivol won the fight by a couple of rounds. He was really surprised by one judge who only gave Bivol 4 rounds. Warren questioned what that judge was seeing during the match, suggesting that the score didn't match what most people thought. He believes the judge's score doesn't reflect how well Bivol fought.
Brilliant night, wasn't it? Great fights, really real quality fights. The main event was a brilliant main event. I think it was both guys' attributes were on display, and I just thought it was something extra special. But I thought that Bivol won it by a couple of rounds.
I think that's the general consensus online. I just spoke to him and he said he feels empty.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very disappointed. I think the judge who gave him 4 rounds out of those 12, I don't know what he was watching.
Warren found the score of 8-4 to be beyond ridiculous, emphasizing that everyone he spoke to felt Bivol had clearly won by at least 2 rounds. Warren believes the fight was so good that it deserves a rematch, highlighting the quality of the competition. He expressed frustration over the controversy surrounding the result, noting how disappointing it is when a well-fought match ends with such debate over the outcome. Warren said, I gave it to Bivol by a couple of rounds. That score of 8-4 is beyond ridiculous. Everyone around that ring thought Bivol had won it by at least 2 rounds. There should be a rematch because it was such a quality fight. It's terrible when you get a fight like that and it ends in controversy. However, Bivol did not give any excuses for his defeat. He only congratulated his rival after the match. During his aftermatch interview in the ring, he narrated about how he did not want to say anything about his defeat since it would sound like an excuse. Bivol said, I am a warrior. I don't have any explanation because it could look like excuses. Congratulations to Artur and his team. He deserves it. Despite this, many in the boxing world felt that Bivol was robbed of the undisputed light heavyweight champion status. Ryan Garcia believed judges robbed Bivol of a rightful victory. He wrote, wow, robbery if you ask me. Andre Ward also believed that Bivol won the fight and looked shocked by the 116-112 scorecard. He wrote, Bivol won that fight. 116-112 is crazy. Shakur Stevenson was also not impressed by the result of this match and claimed boxing is so terrible. Moreover, Dmitry Bivol's management will file an official protest over his loss to Artur Beterbiev. Bivol's manager, Vadim Kornilov, plans to protest the 116-112 score from one of the judges. He said, we're going to file a protest on Monday. I think the judge has to at least have some kind of responsibility for what he did. Kornilov expressed his strong belief that Dmitry Bivol dominated the fight against Artur Beterbiev. He noted that while Bivol did face some challenges, including getting buzzed during the match, he also managed to hurt Beterbiev at times. Kornilov emphasized that Bivol put in a lifetime of hard work and deserved to leave the ring as the undisputed world champion. He referenced Turki Al-Sheikh, who remarked that the decision was wrong and suggested a rematch. Kornilov agrees, stating that the fight should have ended with a clear champion. He further added, Bivol controlled the fight. Listen, he got buzzed in the fight. He buzzed Artur Beterbiev. That was a lifetimes of work where he should have been walking out of the ring as the undisputed world champion. His Excellency, Turki Al-Sheikh, said, wrong decision, I'll do a rematch. We should have had an undisputed champion in there. Transitioning onto Al-Sheikh's reaction to this fight, he described the fight one of the greatest in the last 20 years, but expressed his disagreement with the result.
It is one of the great fights ever I see in the last at least 20 years, okay?
Fantastic.
But I don't think the result is fair, in my opinion.
Al-Sheikh said that he gave 2 more rounds to Bivol and couldn't understand how a judge could score 116-112 in such a close contest. Al-Sheikh also mentioned that a rematch is in the cards if the 2 fighters agree to it. He said, I don't think the result is fair. In my opinion, these 2 fighters are like brothers to me, but I think Bivol won by 2 rounds. I will focus on trying to organize a rematch. If they agree, we will make it happen. Reacting to his statement, Eddie Hearn showed faith in Al-Sheikh's words, saying, we know he's a man of his word. We know he supported Dmitry Bivol. We thank him so much, not just for the opportunities for Dmitry Bivol, but what he's given boxing tonight by making that fight. And there has to be a rematch because Artur Beterbiev, you know, there's always going to be the controversy of that fight. Hearn praised Artur Beterbiev as a true champion, but raised a question about what other fights are left for him. He emphasized that everyone wants to see a rematch between Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, suggesting it would draw significant interest from boxing fans around the world. He further added, he's a true champion, but what other fight is there for Artur Beterbiev? I mean, the whole world will want to see that again. The whole world will know. I'm sure there's some that found a Beterbiev victory, but everybody I know that knows boxing didn't tell me that at ringside. Bivol expressed similar emotions as he provided updates on a potential rematch. He said, Turki Alal Sheikh, told me he thought that I won and wants to make the rematch for me. Now it depends on Beterbiev if he wants it. Despite winning on the scorecards, Beterbiev admitted, I wanted more quality. I didn't like this fight, but I'll be better one day. He praised Bivol's skill, even saying, Dmitry is a world champion too. He has good skills, better than me, but today Allah chose me. Coming on to the pros who gave a thorough analysis of this fight, Roy Jones Jr., who was the last undisputed champion at 175 pounds, recognized it was a close fight and agreed with Hearn about the wide score being inappropriate. He said, we had a very fantastic fight, a fight I thought could have gone either way. However it goes, nobody won or lost the fight by 4 points. That's ridiculous, which is why I say we need an immediate rematch. He then had high praise for both men, but scored the contest a draw and called for a quick rematch. Jones further added, both guys did a lot to change. Beterbiev showed me more than he's ever showed me before about being a boxer. He can actually box, and I was surprised. Bivol was a very good defender, which we knew. He was a very good counterpuncher, which we knew. He jumped out to the early lead, I thought. Beterbiev finished the fight stronger. So that's why I think, in my point of view, the fight should be a draw and let's get a rematch. Conor Benn believed that Artur Beterbiev was the rightful winner of the fight, even though many others felt that Dmitry Bivol had come out on top. Benn expressed that despite differing opinions on the outcome, a rematch between the two boxers is necessary and should happen soon.
Score that fight. Beterbiev winning the fight. I see a lot of people online saying Bivol won it. People I know who are watching the fight on TV said Bivol won it. Beterbiev winning the fight. I think Bivol started off fast, won the early rounds, started slowing down, and Beterbiev started really dominating.
Think a rematch is granted?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it goes any other way. I think Beterbiev just puts, applies pressure and hunts his prey down.
Teddy Atlas praised Dmitry Bivol for delivering a great performance in the fight. He pointed out that Bivol effectively used solid combinations during the middle rounds, showcasing his boxing skills. However, Atlas noted that Bivol struggled to find his rhythm due to the constant pressure applied by Artur Beterbiev. This relentless approach from Beterbiev made it difficult for Bivol to maintain his momentum and fully capitalize on his abilities.
I thought he put a good fight, Bivol. I thought, look, you could say there was one spot where he was throwing combinations in the middle part of the fight. I wrote it on my notes. I don't have it in front of me. Where he was throwing combinations. Really beautiful. He was winning the round. He was controlling the round. I said, okay, I'm going to give this round to him. And what did he do? I had just made a note to myself. You can't get greedy with this guy. You can't get greedy. You got to know when you're done. Like the Kenny Rogers song. You got to know when to hold him, when to fold him. And he stayed there just to punch too much. Just one, and he was having success. It was a great round.
Atlas said that it was a very close fight. After doing some deep analysis of the fight, Atlas thought that Beterbiev won by 115 to 113 because he was dominant in the championship rounds. He further added, close fight. A lot of close rounds. I can see why people are conflicted. I judge the fight, but I'm not going to judge anyone because I get it's subjective in certain ways. There's two ways to look at it. Two fighters, close fight, a lot of close rounds. I had it 115 to 113 Beterbiev. Yeah, because I thought he won the championship rounds. I thought it was a really, really tight fight. I thought that, as I often do, a fight like this comes down to geography. Who gets to own the geography, the place in the ring that suits their talents, strengths better than the other guy? As for the swing rounds, Atlas said big punching Beterbiev was doing enough to impress the judges in the final minute. He concluded, Bivol threw one too many, bang, he got caught, and then Beterbiev does what he does. What did he do at the end? He closes the show. I hate to use the term stole rounds because that cheapens what they both did, but Beterbiev took a couple rounds late by closing the round strong. Amir Khan expressed his admiration for Artur Beterbiev's performance, describing him as a beast. Initially, Khan had predicted that Dmitry Bivol would win the fight, but after witnessing Beterbiev's aggressive style and relentless pressure throughout the match, he changed his perspective. Khan acknowledged Beterbiev's skill and tenacity, ultimately becoming a fan of the new undisputed light heavyweight champion.
Big shots was landing, big shots were getting defended. I mean, but one thing I can say is the first time I saw Arthur fight Beterbiev, what a beast he is. I mean, look, I thought Bivol was going to go into this fight and win this fight, but after watching this fight and watching him fight how he fought, what a beast he is. Honestly, like, there's no one beating him. The guy was punch perfect, great defense, it's very strong, hits hard with both hands, and you can see how marked up Bivol was. I mean, look at Arthur now. I mean, he's just doing an interview right now. There's no marks on his face. It just shows, I mean, this guy's an animal.
Khan stated that Artur Beterbiev's pressure and high activity level during the championship rounds were key factors in securing his victory.
But when I watched it, from the last two rounds were the championship rounds where Bivol was on his back foot and Beterbiev put the pressure on, pushed him back with some heavy shots, and it just showed to me that Bivol just couldn't keep up with him.
Badu Jack described the fight as close, admitting he was rooting for Artur Beterbiev, which may have made him a bit biased in his view. He acknowledged that it was a good match overall and noted that Beterbiev had a strong finish in the last 3 rounds, performing well during that critical stretch. Despite the controversy surrounding the decision, Jack expressed that he wasn't upset by the outcome. He stated, "It was a close fight. I was rooting for Beterbiev, so maybe I'm a little biased, but it was a good fight. I think he had a strong finish in the last 3 rounds. He looked good, so to be honest, I'm not mad at the decision." However, Sergio Mora insisted that Dmitry Bivol deserved the win over Artur Beterbiev based on his defense and ring generalship. Mora, a former light-hitting finesse-level fighter during his career, picked Bivol to win before the fight, and he seemed troubled by his pick not going his way. He wanted Bivol to clinch and walk back Beterbiev. He said Bivol should have made him miss and back up the monster with the older legs. He had surgery, Beterbiev. You got to force that knee backwards. Monsters don't like backing up. When you clinch them and back them up, they don't like that. I still think Bivol did enough to win this fight. I thought the scorecards were wrong. I thought at worst, Bivol deserved a draw, but I thought he won handily. The punches that were being landed in the second half of the fight were being landed on the gloves. Frank Smith also shared his thoughts on the fight, saying he found it close in certain moments, but felt that Dmitry Bivol deserved the win. He criticized the score of 116 to 112, calling it horrendous, and emphasized that the match definitely warrants a rematch. Smith described the fight as brilliant and amazing, noting that it lived up to all the expectations and even exceeded them. While he praised the overall spectacle, he expressed his belief that the final result was not fair, highlighting the controversy surrounding the judges' decisions in such a high-stakes match. He said, "I thought it was close in parts, but I believed he deserved the win tonight. The scorecard of 116 to 112 was horrendous. That's a fight that definitely deserves a rematch. It was a brilliant fight, an amazing fight that lived up to everything we said it would be and more. What a show. However, I don't think the result was fair." Robert Garcia also scored the fight in favor of Dmitry Bivol, giving him 7 rounds to 5. He felt that Bivol clearly won the first 3 rounds, showcasing impressive combinations and solid performance throughout the match. Garcia also noted that Bivol continued to do well in the later rounds. However, he believes the judges focused more on Artur Beterbiev's aggression and the pressure he applied during the fight, which may have influenced their scoring.
Me personally, I thought Bivol pulled it off by 7 to 5, very close. I thought he pulled it off. I thought he won the first 3 rounds, I think, with his combinations moving around. And I think he still won a few more rounds after that, using that, that technique, beating him to the punch. And in the late rounds, there was a few moments where he was able to back him up, and that's when he was a little successful. But kept putting pressure, and even though Bivol was blocking a lot, he stayed busy throwing punches. So I'm pretty sure that's why the judges seen it. But
so what are your thoughts about this fight? Who did you think won the Undisputed Showdown? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.